What's up, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. So as far as SPY is going, we got this big dump to about 655. But ever since I made that video about how we could be looking for a bottom very soon and a bounce, we saw SPY bounce back up to 665. Now, right now, we're dipping a little bit. We could be retesting around 660, which is completely fine. But I'm going to be watching, can we pivot right here? Is this going to be where the market forms a temporary bottom? Because of many different factors, it's possible we're about to make a higher low right here. And we're about to get some kind of rebound. And simultaneously, when you really zoom out, I know this is a little, the lines are kind of congested. I completely understand if it's a little hard to see. But I just want to say that if you take a key fib level like this and you start down here, what you'll see is that we have basically bounced off the 0.786 fib level. That's almost exactly where SPY ended up holding. And typically, when you get some kind of like pullback move, the 0.786 fib level is going to be very, very key. And this could be where we essentially form a bottom. There's a good chance that this could be it. In case we lose 655, then we could be retesting the lows we made in October, but it's possible that this is it and we're about to see some more upside. So some big factors are going to be Nvidia's earnings tomorrow alongside the FOMC minutes. I think there's a good chance that we're going to try to form a base here. And as long as we don't lose 655, we could be looking for a nice rebound attempt for 668 and then back to the 670s. I'll be watching that very closely. So for now, we are range bound between 665 and 660. We could even dip a little bit going into close. But overall, I'll be watching to see if we bounce in the upcoming days because it's possible the market's making a bottom. Same thing with the QQQ, right? When you zoom out of the QQQ, what you'll see is that we basically are trying to hold this support over here. We've been on this big downtrend, but this support aligns with our key fib level. So once again, when you draw out a key fib retracement, we're bouncing super close to this 0.786 fib level. That's indicative of the fact that that could be a temporary bottom alongside our bullish divergence that's beginning to develop. Now, we're going to see if we end up holding near this support over here. And we're going to see if we could basically base and bounce and try to get back above 600. There's a good chance that we try to form a bottom and we try to rebound as time goes on. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. On the IWM, we're also on a downtrend, but it's been trying to bounce. And I want to see if this could basically get back above our key level. Can we break back above this trend line and push back up to essentially 236? ES is also trying to form a bottom, in my opinion. We basically tested the October levels, which is a good sign. As long as you don't lose like 6,600, I think there's a good chance that that could be where we base. And we're looking for a attempt for 6723 all over again. On NQ, we basically formed a low right here, temporary low towards 24,500. But as long as we can hold this, we're looking for an attempt to bounce to 24,900 for 25,000 for a temporary bounce. On Bitcoin, we're looking for an attempt for 93,800. If that breaks, we're looking for 97,000. Tesla is doing a good job. I said that it's going to likely consolidate near 400, and we're doing a good job at holding above 400 so far. I still think it's possible it dips a little bit looking at this setup, but overall, I just want to see us basically confirm a base around 380, make a higher low around the 390 area, and if we could bounce near 390, I'm looking for a potential reversal structure on Tesla. I believe the low is either already in or it's very close on Tesla, and we're going to be looking for a monstrous bounce next week. For Nvidia, we're on a downtrend, but of course, this does not matter. What matters is going to be Nvidia's earnings. Do we get some kind of big bounce or not? So watch for that. Watch 180 to see if it holds. On Apple, I want to see if it can reclaim at 270. We're just consolidating, but there is potential to retest 270. AMD is dipping. It's still kind of weak, but it's going to be greatly impacted by Nvidia's earnings. So keep that in mind. Coinbase is on a downtrend. We're going to see if we bounce back up for essentially 281 or not. Amazon is technically on a downtrend as well. We're going to see if this bounces. It could be dipping to 220. But this imbalance has gotten filled, and this is near the support. I think near 220, it could be trying to form a nice balance if we hold that level. Meta is trying to bounce. It's fighting for 600. If that reclaims, we're looking for 608, then 620 is our potential targets. Google also has a nice looking bounce coming. 281 is our main support. I think there's a good chance we try to rebound here. Microsoft also has a bullish divergence, and I think that 504 is likely going to be tested. So that being said, guys, the VIX, it's possible the VIX is almost done with this inverse head and shoulder setup. It might pop before it starts to drop and start filling a lot of these gaps that developed, and that could be very, very good for bulls. I also want to just note that the QQQ and SPY have a lot of gaps left to fill above. There's 3 gaps left on the QQQ, 3 gaps. There's a couple of gaps left on SPY. There's, I think, 2 of them. So remember when we were basically pumping really hard. Let me just show you this. When the chart looked like this, right? We were just gapping up and going, gapping up and going, gapping up and going, hitting all-time highs. Well, we came back down to fill essentially all these gaps, at least for the shorter term, right? And as we were dumping, we left a lot of gaps in the QQQ. There's one right here, one right here, one right here. We left a bunch of gaps. So that could be indicative of the fact that we're going to see a rally back up to fill these gaps in the upcoming weeks. I would say within a month or so, we should be back. And I think there's a good chance of us getting a very nice bounce. So we'll see. Just to be safe, I am saying this based off technicals and some factors, but let's see what happens with the Fed and all these other factors, such as Nvidia's earnings. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have an awesome rest of your guys' days, and peace out.